70,000 years ago. So this is a fact that I'll throw in here.
Is this the fact? Or
Well,
just
I'm
a
gonna
fun fact?
throw in a fact to try and seem smart because I've got to be honest. I'm not coming across as a genius on this particular thing because I don't know what I'm talking about. No, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Are you still doing interesting chatty, or must I stand
No,
by
no.
for
I'm
the
kind of
fact?
doing well. You can count this as my fact if you
right,
like.
good.
But like one of the interesting things is that these days, we're Homo sapiens, and people say, "Oh, Homo sapiens evolved from apes," but we didn't really. Us and apes evolved from the same ancestors essentially. So we didn't evolve from chimpanzees.
It wasn't that linear.
We went down a separate path. And our path was actually quite a busy one. Just 70,000 years ago, there were 4 different kinds of humans alive on Earth. Whereas now there's only Homo sapiens. Like the others, Homo Neanderthals. Neanderthals and
Erectus, maybe.
Yeah, and Erectus, and the other one's a strange one. It's like
not Australopithecus.
No, but thank you for guessing. It's really helping. It's Fiorentinus.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could say it, but it's.
I think there was an Italian soccer club with that name.
Yes. Essentially, they're all
they're all Italian.
Yeah,
soccer.
it's Erectus and Fiorin. I wish I should have. You know what I should have done? Possibly some thinking, some research, some practicing. But it's Homo erectus, Homo fiorentinus, Homo sapien, and Homo neanderthalis.
Yeah.
And that's the 4. That's them. They were alive just 70,000 years ago. All 4 of them.
Wow.
That's my fact.
Oh, that's your fact, eh?
Fact, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I've thrown it in such a way that you literally you were going along with it, weren't you? You were in it.
Yeah.
you
You
were in
see now. But I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm gonna say no because Erectus, yes. Neanderthalis, yes. I think
just 70,000 years
I think
ago.
Australopithecus is one of the 4. So Fiorentina.
Yeah, you're just the one I can't pronounce.
Yeah,
It's
Fiorentina
I can't pronounce it because I made it up,
It's
essentially.
bollocks.
Is that
Look,
what you're
if
saying?
I call it bollocks and it's bollocks for another reason, that's fine. Then I still get the point. But
Do you? Okay.
Yes, but I'm saying it's bollocks because I think Fiorentina wasn't a homo.
Okay, Beavis.
And I think it was but I think Australopithecus was one of the 4, the Fab 4.
No. Unfortunately, you're wrong. It was those 4.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but just 70,000 years ago. And one of the interesting things is we don't know why the others died out. Like quite recently, there was some research that found out that because initially it was believed that we had somehow killed Neanderthals in Europe, right? That we'd somehow bred them out or killed them, and that it was like a singular process. That it was a thing that we'd kind of arrived in their area, started eating all their food. They couldn't really compete with us, and they died out. Whatever it was, we didn't really know. But now they've made these new discoveries in caves in the south of France, where they found that actually there seems to have been this really much longer period where we were living together, some 10,000 years longer than previously thought, where they found these caves where it was obvious Homo sapiens lived there for a bit, and then Neanderthals lived there for a bit, and then Homo sapiens come back and they live there for a bit, and then Neanderthals live there for a bit. So it was clearly this kind of like back and forth. And obviously, if you are of European descent, you have got Neanderthal in your genetics. So we were obviously we were breeding with them, whether we were, doing it kind of as a natural social thing or whether we were kidnapping their babies and then the babies, they don't know. They really don't know. Everything's kind of guesswork at the moment. But what is shown is that we lived with them for a very, very long time. Like 10,000 years. You think about what 10,000 years is. 10,000 years is back to before the pyramids were built. Like we were living with them in a kind of
time in human history,
right. And it's left its mark on human genetics. Particularly if you are European and you lived with this other species. But it's not unusual for humans to have other species DNA in our DNA. We've got hundreds of species DNA in our own DNA, so it's not just us. We've got viruses and bacterias and all sorts of things that we've built into our DNA over the years, and it's fascinating that stuff is just there. It's just there, lying, kind of switched off and dormant.
Yeah.
Which is even to me, a stupid person, Like quite an interesting fact.
Yeah. Or vestigial's the other word they use.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So there's all these. So they did a study where they switched off chickens' beaks, right? So they found the DNA that creates the chicken's beak, and they turned it off in the egg, and they were all born with dinosaur-like mouths. Yeah, so this stuff is there. It's layered.
Shit is
on top
real.
Of, yeah, and it's all layered on top
Jurassic
of layers.
Park shit, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, stop going to church, Ryan. It's a lie.
But on the good side, we can have boneless chicken as a real option.
I mean, yeah, because there's got to be
turn
some
off
sort
the
of like
skeleton.
Yeah, you got to find the jellyfish gene, turn that on, so it's like a chicken with a jellyfish's bones.
You could grow a chicken like a pumpkin, really.
I mean, I'm pretty certain some mad bastard in Siberia has already done this. Like I'm pretty sure there are people somewhere that have done these things. They're just not allowed to publish it. Like every year, Volodymyr, he calls the Scientific American and he's like, I stitch a dog's head to a pig. It is still alive. And they're like, we do not want to hear about it, Volodymyr. Fuck off.
Yeah, Stalin was trying to see if he could breed a super soldier. Or was that a myth?
Well, I mean, there was
Mix a bit of like great ape, like gorilla and human, and see if it could make a super soldier.
I think there might be Captain America, but I mean, certainly there was experiments where they kind of cut the head off a monkey and they put them on like another animal, and then tried to and then the monkey would be like, oh, and then the monkey was alive, for like 3 minutes of fucking agony, like they don't talk of it, but they were doing those sorts of horrific experiments. They were like, and unfortunately now they seem to have stopped. Unfortunately now this whole but what's interesting about that is that also recent study is that now they're starting to find ways to change the things that cause a body to reject an organ. Right, so they're going in and they're tapping into the DNA and they're changing those various elements, and they're, which is interesting because it means one, humans will be able to donate to other humans. We won't have to go through that process of trying to find the exact right match and stopping people from rejecting the organs. But taken a step further, they're kind of saying, well, if we can get this actually right, we can start putting pigs' organs inside of humans.
Yeah.
Which definitely you find an abomination and people should go to hell for.
Do I?
I mean, I'm sure.
Would I?
I'm sure that's
Leviticus. Well, if
you're not allowed,
a pig.
If you're not allowed to,
sheep,
if you're not allowed to blend the different kinds of cloth that you wear, blending the species must be right out.
I'm sure it's fine.
Look. If 2,000 years ago people were able to think of that, they definitely would have said it's a no.
No.
But the only reason
the pig.
Yeah, the only reason it's not in the Bible as a no is because they just weren't capable of imagining a future in which we may want to do that. They were just like such a thing would be so horrific.
Look, we were, eliminating the foreskin with a scalpel or a knife.
Or like the edge of a clam. Like who knows what people were using,
The edge of a clam.
Yeah.
Rachel, please bring the edge of the clam.
Yeah. Okay, Rabbi, I'm on my way.